Welcome to another episode of the Mike and Matt Show with myself, Matt Weber, and my partner and co-host, Michael Strasser. This podcast is designed to help provide insight into the world of real estate investing, entrepreneurship, personal development, and business. Please subscribe, follow, and like the Mike and Matt Show on all podcast platforms. You can listen and watch the show on our YouTube channel, Alpha Funding. Be ready to level up your life and be inspired by some of the most successful investors and business professionals in the game. You'll laugh, you'll learn, you might cry. We hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to another episode of the Mike and Matt Show. I'm here with my co-host, Michael Strasser. How are you, buddy?
Good, Matty. How's it going, bud?
Everything's going great. I am super excited for our new guest, John Lajara, here in studio. We're going to be going over tons of stuff. John is a fitness enthusiast, lifestyle guru. You're a real estate investor. You're coaching people, individuals, and I want to go through so much stuff with you today. So welcome,
I'm looking
John.
at the list of things. I don't know if we're gonna have enough time. We might have to have you back.
How much time do we have?
We're gonna see how far.
It goes, but we might have to have a part two.
Yeah,
because there's a lot here to cover.
We'll brief it, and then if we have to come a second time, we'll come.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
So, John, obviously, you're a real estate investor. We're closing on a loan with you right now. Really excited to have you on here. How long have you been a real estate investor?
So I've been in the real estate business for 15 years as a sales agent, and I started investing shortly a couple of years after that. So I would say starting around 2013. So a little over 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you're a realtor before you became an investor, or?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I just got into the business to sell, right? Like financial freedom and having a nice car and having the lifestyle. And then you get to see that, sales by itself is not going to get you there. And you start seeing your peers and people are investing. And you're like, wait, how do I get in, right? And I started with my first multifamily property in 2013. And that was the good time to buy real estate, man.
Oh, man.
And I started in the Bronx, right? I was a little ashamed working in the Bronx. I'm like, damn, why I didn't start my career like in Manhattan? And I would go to like networking events, and I would never say the Bronx because it was never like in the area that was, significant for people. Like you said Manhattan, you said, these areas here people knew. But I got into real estate in the Bronx, and I had a good share of like investments. But if I had known that borough, because that was literally the last borough in New York City, right? Manhattan blew up, Brooklyn blew up, Queens blew up, Staten Island, the Bronx was the last one. So from that 2013 till now, like I drive by and I see houses like now $1 million is normal. My first 3-family, I bought it for $350,000. I sold it 2 years ago for $950,000. That same house now is $1,050,000. Now anywhere you drive, a 2-family can be close to $1 million. A 3-family is 1.1. A 4-family is 1.2. So yeah, man. I mean, I always say like it's never too late to get in because the more you wait, the more expensive it gets.
Yeah. What's the line? The best or worst time? The best time to buy real estate was yesterday, right?
Right.
Also, I love what you're saying here because I think sexy isn't where all of real estate's sexy. It doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't have to be Manhattan to be sexy. The Bronx was plenty sexy for you, right? Like,
right.
You're still making a lot of money.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, it was just when you get into the business, you kind of, for me, it was like my presence was everything and I wanted to kind of fit in. So I wanted to be in an area where people knew, what, real estate was like there. So yeah, because the funny thing, when you think of the Bronx, most people think of the South Bronx, like the Italian mob and all the Godfather, right? Stuff like that. So it's not really an area like so prestige. But yeah, like now, like you said, I mean, wherever you make money, it could be like a rundown town, Newark, whatever. It's like, if you're making money and it's a good long-term for you, that's what matters, not how pretty it looks.
Yeah.
So I have a crazy question for you because you said you started in 13. That's actually when I joined Alpha.
Oh, nice.
Did you borrow money in 13 from any hard money?
No, actually,
No?
I wasn't doing hard money at that time. I was just doing strictly rental income. So I was buying all my properties traditionally, like regular loans. I did my first house FHA. You're going to want to take advantage of the 3.5% down because, when you start in real estate, you don't have all this money. So FHA is a great way to start. I started in the hard money area, like right around 2022 when I did my first flip in Jersey. that's when I started getting into like the flipping game. I was doing rent to income from 2013 to 2022. And then 2022, like I was burnt out with the law changes after COVID. And, you know, New York City, they don't protect landlords. And I went through 2 evictions at the time. Now, to this day, I went through 4 evictions. I've lost over 6-figure and lost rental income. So I started exploring other ways to make money in real estate. So outside of the 2 to 4 family, then I saw flipping was the next thing. And I knew people around me in Jersey that were doing it. So I was like, oh. And then hard money was cool because I got tired of paying the IRS $40,000, $50,000 to buy a freaking house. Now the way hard money is like, if the deal makes sense, you guys lend money on the deal, not on the person's personal credentials.
Well, I bring it up because you were talking about how in 2013, like that was the time to buy. It was also the time to be a lender. Those were the golden years.
Yeah.
For everybody listening right now, I started August of 2013. The going rate for a hard money loan, Matt knows. John, you want to take a guess? Going rate, hard money loan.
I mean, I know right now is 11, 12. I would say, let's say 15 to 18.
14 and 4.
Oh,
Pay 4 points up front.
4 points?
14% and 4 points. Those were the golden days.
Golden days.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. That's why I was curious because, like, you know, it's all perspective, right? Like, everything's so perspective and everything changes. And, you know, a lot of the people we've had on don't go that far back into the early teens. Like, a lot of people that we've had on in the last year or so really started 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Right.
So not a lot all the way back in those early teens when, like, this was fresh and different and new. And so it's always, I always like to pull that perspective. It makes me feel old. That's the first part. But it's also, it's good to show people like the then and the now.
Right.
Like you were just saying, you can buy stuff in the Bronx, 300,000-400,000. Even Newark, you were saying, like, I was talking to a friend of mine buying 3 families in Newark in 2014, rehabbed, ARVs were 350. That same triplex in Newark is $1 million.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, $1 million now is like like a regular price. $1 million before it was like luxury. Now it's $1 million like anything right now.
It's crazy to look at that. 10 years.
Yeah.
That's 10 years for you, right? 10 years, you started buying in the Bronx. 10 years later, you're in the middle hundreds of thousands to $1 million. What a change, right? Just in your career of doing this.
Yeah, and I get to see a lot of my clients now, especially those that are retiring. They can't even afford living in the tri-states, so they're moving down south. Like, I had a client in Brooklyn, sold his house. He bought this like 3-acre property, new development, crazy house. That house would be $2 million in Westchester County, or I don't know, like some luxury area in Jersey. But he bought that for like 600 and change. I'm like, yeah, I mean, even though Florida boomed as well when people were relocating during the pandemic, but when you look at those prices down there, it's like, it makes sense for a lot of people that, you know, they live paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, up here is getting too expensive. So even for myself, I mean, I'm exploring other locations more for like lifestyle purposes. I'm tired of the winters. I want to be in warmer weather. And with the coaching business that I mentioned earlier, and my real estate business kind of almost on autopilot, I got my brother involved. Investments, I'm putting the right people in place. So I feel in a year, I can almost work remote from even outside of the U.S. That's kind of like my goal next year. I want to work where I want. I don't want to be bound by time, location, and money. Like, if I want to live in Bali, I want to live in Bali. Why am I restricted to live in New York? Because I do my work there. It's like, this universe is abundant. We can have whatever we want. It's the limitation of your mindset.
I'm with you 100%. Yeah. That's the dream. I could never do it because Maddie would never let me go. He missed me too much.
Well, I do have an advantage. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. So I'm taking advantage of that before that family time comes. So
yeah, you're going to get locked down.
Guys hit me all the time in the rib cage. They're like, oh, yeah, because you don't have kids. You don't have a wife. So, I mean, you didn't do it when you were single, so don't blame me.
Yeah.
You know?
So you clearly have this sales, just natural bravado personality. What were you doing before you became a realtor? Was this just always you? Like, you literally rolled out of the womb and you were just like slinging stuff.
I wish.
That was Matt.
I wish. And this is why I wanted to start a podcast. I mean, because people only have seen the success side of me. And prior to real estate, I was a very reserved kid. You know, I was 4'11" when I was in junior high school. I wore glasses. I got LASIK about maybe over a decade ago, but I was very insecure. I was not a confident person. That happened naturally when I got into real estate because the nature of the business is nobody's coming to you, right? Like my office, we had some walk-ins. I mean, there was no social media at that time, right? So for you to create business, you had to put yourself out there. So I did real estate the old school way. I mean, I was cold calling, I was door knocking. I mean, I went through a lot of failures during that time, but like practice, repetition is the mother of all skills. I mean, I can be bad, but if I'm doing that year after year after year after year after year, I gotta get good. I'm doing the same stuff over and over again. And that's what happened with me. I kind of just unleash a deeper side of me, the confident side of me. But yeah, no, it wasn't always like that. I worked to become the man that I am today.
I love it.
You stunned him into
stunned him?
absolute...
No.
Because Maddie came out of the womb selling.
Oh, really?
He did. At least that's what I believe. I've never asked your mom. I probably should ask her. Like, did Maddie come out like selling real estate? It's possible.
What was the interest rate points at that time? Because that was like 30 years ago.
I mean, you were in the 80s, right?
Yeah, I mean, the conventional mortgage rate was 15%. So,
Jesus.
what was the usury rate at that point?
I mean, I don't know. Hard money. I don't know what hard money was in the 80s.
Right.
I don't know if it existed the same way, but it was crazy. But are you stunned? Are you still stunned?
No, I guess.
By the way, John, you're
always...
the first person literally rendered him speechless.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you.
There you go.
I want to know because I think when I first saw you, John, I always saw all the amazing things you're doing on social media. And I think it's important. I want to share this with our audience because I think so many people see certain things online. And we're going to talk about social media because I think it's such an important topic to discuss. I was just listening to a podcast and Mel Robbins was talking about the effect that social media has on all of us. And if you look at, like, right now, we're in an attention economy. It's amazing how glued to the phones we are. But also I think it's important for people to understand that when they see certain things online, you can't always look at that full picture, right? There's not always things that you may see from somebody that they're posting online. So for you, I saw and I still do it. Like, I'm impressed with all the lifestyle stuff that you share, all the different things, your discipline. But I know that you were saying, that there's sometimes things that people don't see on social media. And I'm curious for somebody that would follow you or sees you're a coach, what are some things that people don't see?
Yeah, most people don't see that everybody has their own struggles, right? You can see the most successful person. You don't know if he's having a shitty relationship or he's having some sort of conflict with his kids or if he's dealing with some sort of heart health matter, right? So everybody's going through a struggle. I don't care who you are. I mean, we're talking about Tony Robbins. There's seasons of life, right? You have spring, everything is nice, summer, and then fall and winter. When you start getting in the older age, you start experiencing family deaths. All these things, loved ones start getting sicker. Like, these are phases, right? So those are the things that people don't see. So for me I'm always becoming better each day. Like, I spend time each day. I wake up, I spend time physically moving my body. There's no such thing as like you're too fit. Your body is a moving mechanism, right? Like, where the body's made up of muscles. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's why a lot of people get injured. It's not because of compact or they felt like a lot of people are getting injured because their bodies are weak and they're deteriorating. It's like a car. I tell people, like, let me ask you a question. If you bought a brand new car and you left it in the parking lot and you came back a year later, do you think that car is going to run exactly the same as if you took that car out and drove it every single day? Very unlikely, right? So the body's the same way. You got to maintain it, right? Everything in life requires maintenance. Everything is either growing or it's dying. So I maintain my physical aspect that way. Mentally, I spend 10, 15 minutes in meditation. I focus on visualization. I love visualization. Back to what I was saying before, like, the only limitation we have is in our mind. So we have to start programming the thoughts, right? Because every action first started with like words we said. And every word that we said started with a thought, and every thought came from a belief. So if you really think about it, you just have to train yourself on, like, if you have shitty beliefs, where did that belief come from? Because we're talking about coming from our mom's womb. We're all born innocent, and it's society and it's the people around us that bestow all these myths and all these conditioning around us. Then we grow older. Yeah, we become successful in business. But if we didn't do that cleanse and that healing, we still live with that stuff. So what people don't see is the personal development side. Like these last 3 years, I went deep in personal development. I went through depression in 2022. I was not fulfilled in my life. And luckily I went to a real estate convention. It's funny. Every time I go, I've gone to Tony Robbins events through real estate, which I'm very blessed for real estate for that. So there was an event, UPW, in 2022. I did it virtual with my team. And then Tony was pitching platinum membership. That's kind of like the elite community for him. Like you could do UPW, like some of his starter programs. You could do his challenges. The platinum partnership is a commitment of 12 months. Requires traveling. You're doing personal development events, relationship, health, business around the world, and you're with like-minded people around the world as well. So for me, it was like, I got to change something. Something has to change. And the funny part is I did UPW in 2017 in the Prudential Center, and I couldn't even afford that. Like I was making maybe $250,000, and that investment is in the 6-figure range, just so you know. Not a lot of people can do it. And this time I was able to have the finances to do it. And I went full deep in. I mean, so deep in that I kind of lost money in real estate. Like, but I didn't care, because for me, what was most important is I want to get my life together. You can always make money. People always fear the loss. But like, I don't want to die not knowing that, let's say I didn't have the best relationship with my dad. Let's say I have resentment with my dad. Let's say my dad would have passed, and that I would have lived with that crap and felt like, damn, I didn't do anything to fix that. Why? Because I was fucking working. Yep. Or I was doing all the shit that I thought made me successful, and it didn't make me successful. Society makes us think the guy with the most money, the cars, the house, even the women. That's all bullshit, man. I've had all that, and I was still unfulfilled.
So going back to what I was talking about how I feel the effects of what social media does to us, right?
Yeah.
You look at, it could be TV, but let's just use social media with the Instagrams, the Facebooks, the TikToks, how you're literally watching this, and we are being programmed by these platforms and by the companies that advertise on these things, and we're literally watching these things every single day, and they're programming our subconscious every single day. So I actually wanted to know a little bit about what your thoughts are on like unplugging, because that's something that I've been spending a lot more time on trying to do. Is like, I mean, Mike, how long are you on social media every day? Do you know the actual number?
I don't know the number, but there's 2 parts to this. Number one, I'm old, so I probably don't spend as much time on social media as people would think.
Well, let's go back, like screen time on your phone. What I do
want to say to this is, like, what you're talking about, this was not my quote. I did not quote this term, but they call it a slot machine for attention. Yeah. Because that's what it all is, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on X, you're on Threads, whatever you're on. That's scrolling. It's the slot machine, right? You're playing the slot machine till you find something that gets you. Then you play the slot machine till you find something that gets you. And it's all about that, getting your eyeballs to lock in. It's no different than gambling, right? It's the same. You get the same rush, right?
Yeah, the same dopamine effect.
It's like bang, 777. It's some video you really wanted to watch, right? It's something like that. Screen time, I probably just spend too much time looking at emails and going through everything.
But that's why I'm interested, because what I think about that's really cool is you can look in your iPhone and you can see your screen time broken down. You can see how long have you looked at emails all day? How long have you been on social media all day? How many minutes and hours have you been on your phone or text messaging all day? It's pretty interesting. The average person, I believe, is around 4 to 6 hours. I know for me, on a good week, I'm like in the 3-hour range. Some people could be upwards of 6 hours. It's crazy. So unplugging and understanding, like, we beat the crap out of our dopamine receptors by just always constantly looking for these dopamine drips, whether it's on social media or, we're looking for whatever that stimulus is. So like, I know that you are very big into that, like your routine. And I also want to go, this is a two-parter. I want to go over, what do you think is more important, your evening routine, especially being Coach John?
Yeah.
Is your evening routine more important than your morning routine, or do you believe your morning routine is more important than your evening routine, and tying it into like the unplugging effect?
Yeah. And back to the unplugging, I want to mention that's why I went into depression in 2022. It was because I was comparing myself with other people that I felt like I've been in the business longer. How are they there? And let's say an aspect of real estate, or they're working with certain clients. And that's what happened to a lot of people. Like women start comparing themselves with other women, right, that are younger, and, they can never reach that body. So it's like that comparison is literally the recipe to depression. I can talk about this firsthand because I went through it. And once I got out of the personal development and I got clear on who I want to become and what my purpose is, I mean, that takes time. You can kind of block out all the distraction. You can tell me you have a Bitcoin opportunity. There's a 99% no risk. That's good for you. Good luck. You could tell me we're going to make a flip and there's a 50% return, and I'll pass because I'm so clear. I'm not distracted by the shiny penny, but I've been through that path where I'm always trying to get into something because it's the trend or it's what someone else is doing. And it's so beautiful when you can live your life in a state where it doesn't matter what's happening around you. Like you're so locked in and laser beam focused on a specific goal, and nothing can deter you from that. So I would highly recommend everybody to, I did Tony Robbins. You can look at anybody. You talked about Mel Robbins. There's books, there's, programs, there's events. Our parents didn't even have access to this stuff, right? So we can't even blame our parents that, they've passed on their traumas to us, right? So we're the generation to fix this, right? It's up to us for our kids. But it starts with not being distracted with everything and that dopamine effect, and like really sit down and like stop the dopamine, stop always trying to do something, evaluate your life. Where are things that you can improve? There's always improvement somewhere. And once you start looking at areas, be curious and find role models. I use Tony Robbins as an example. There's so many role models, and we got social media. It's like, there's no excuse for people not to heal their traumas, their inner conflicts with all the accessibility of everything. The problem is that we have access to too much. And when something is that available, you take it for granted, right? Like you go to Costco, they'll give you 2 options of each, right? If they gave you 20 options, you'll have freaking problems making
decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue, right? So that's how I like to see it. And to your next question,
more important, the morning or the evening routine?
It's not that one is more important than the other. They both go hand in hand.
Oh, he's so good.
They go hand in hand.
I was trying to get him to. I wanted a viral moment.
Right.
Evening routine or more. I would say, and you've inspired me. Seeing what you do in your evenings actually set up your mornings.
Correct.
It's important to have a good morning routine, but imagine if you went out at night and you were drinking, you're at a party, or you're watching TV till 3 o'clock in the morning, binge watching Netflix, or you're eating till late in the night, and then you try and wake up the next morning and you got a 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. alarm that goes off, but you literally ruined your dopamine receptors, you ruined your body that night before. So I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna say evening routine is more important than morning.
Yeah, based on what you just said, I say it goes hand in hand, but the evening is more important because most people, let's say for example, we all have heard of the 5 a.m. club, but what the 5 a.m. club people don't understand is that it's what you do the day before the 5 a.m., right? So let's say for example, I need to sleep 7 to 8 hours. So if I'm waking up, let's say at 6:30, I got to be in bed at 10:30. So that consciousness helps me make better choices at night. I actually stopped drinking about 7-8 months ago, all because of the heart rate monitor. It's called Whoop. And I got to see, I mean, once you have this, you have so much consciousness with your recovery, how your body's performing, and it's true to the T. Even when I went out and I don't drink, I socially drink. Like if we go to a steakhouse, I'll have like a nice red wine, or if we go out with friends, I'll have like a old fashioned, like a one drinker. And I got to see the effects of that the next day. It could be the 5% slightest decrease. No, I mean, if we all want to perform better, we want to make more money. Like, do you want to decrease your performance?
Yeah, don't you want an incremental increase?
Right.
And that's where, like, I've been on this kick in my last year about always keep looking for that one little thing. And that you can't do them all at once. That's the big thing.
Right.
Because if you do them all at once, you do none. But if you can do one and then add another layer and add another layer, and that's been huge for me. And then the next thing I want to go to was hard things, easy life, easy things, hard life, and about how much that means to you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're really you're living, breathing proof of that line right there.
Yeah. And I say that when you do this often, you start enjoying the process. Like for me, let's say I'm promoting myself as a life and health coach, primarily health, right? That's most of my content. If people only knew that I can give two shits about abs, I mean, that's a byproduct of my lifestyle that comes with it, but I don't focus on that. I focus on working my body the right way. Like these little disciplines, it has so many other effects. Like I feel better, I work better, I'm a better person to my friends and my family, my clients. I'm not reactive. Let's say, in our business, it's so easy for our stress hormones and being reactive when things don't go our way.
You know
But
about that.
yeah. And I say that is something that you can control, but that takes practice. For example, something that I'm practicing now with the Whoop is I'm taking 1 to 2 resets during the day. It's as simple as a 10, 15 minutes. And I don't care what you say. Oh, I don't have 10, 15 minutes. If you don't have 10, 15 minutes for yourself, you don't have a life.
Well, first off, you have 4 hours, potentially up to 6 hours that you spend on your phone. And then your entire day, you might be sprinkling with other things that are unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's literally a self-limiting belief.
It's a self-limiting belief. If I was with someone for 24 hours and just watched you, I can see all the time waster that you're literally depleting. And I say you got to start treating the activities that you want as priorities, as treating them as an appointment, right? Like if we were doing alone, you'll block that stuff in your calendar. It's just that people are not giving that same commitment for, oh, let me spend 10 minutes to work out, or let me do 10-minute meditation. People are not putting it in their schedule. You have to schedule your priorities, and then you work your appointments in your life around that. It's not you try to squeeze it in with other stuff. That would never work, because there's always something to do. There's always distraction. So you have to treat it as an appointment. If you do that, then you block it. And yeah, I mean, there are going to be times that, you can't always commit to it, but you said you start one thing at a time. Let's say I let go of alcohol. Boom, check. I don't eat 3 hours before bed. Check. Okay, I put my phone away at 9 p.m. so I stay away from blue light an hour before. Check. But these things came with time, Consistency, right? It's not like you're going to get all this, like even sleeping 8 hours and being consistent with my circadian rhythm, 10:30, waking up at 6:30, your body likes to sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time. That's how you actually improve recovery. But that takes time, man. But, one day at a time.
So,
I actually have a question. I want to circle back to what this is really important about time and making time, and then your commentary about social media and where we started this. So my question is, you have a big social media presence, right? How do you convey through your social media to other people that thought, right? The unplugging, like how do you use the thing that they're ingesting, right, for their dopamine hit to help them also understand they need to unplug, like the balance between that, right? I think that's always, I think for all of us, like as we're trying to help other people, how do we balance using the thing that can be dangerous but also in a way telling them how to get away from it at the same time? How do you do that? Do you think about that when you're conveying your social media and how you're trying to reach out to people?
Yeah, I mean, I always try to give some sort of value, whether, it's with health or it's personal growth or it's with your emotional life. And I try to make it very simple for people. And I always try to give people, like, what is the long term with that, right? Like, for example, when some people say, oh, I don't have time to exercise. For me, it's like you're seeing exercise as if it was a luxury. It's a way of life, right? Like, your body needs to move. Scientifically, if you don't move your body, then that's how chronic disease starts. That's how adding weight and obesity starts. It's like, these are the effects if you don't do this. So do you want to be like a living example of probably like a parent of yours or somebody around your life? You want to continue that road, or you want to set a new path? But this is the new path. These are the things you have to do. So I try to always give people kind of like the future outcome and, what can possibly happen if you ignore these areas. Like now, like I said, like, if you start using social media all the time and you start comparing yourself, well, get ready. That might lead to depression. I know that firsthand. I went through that. So it's like you pay the price of discipline, or you're going to pay the price of regret. But you're going to pay some sort of price, or you're going to pay the price of some sort of pain. Which one do you want to go with? But pain is inevitable. You just got to pick the discipline, or you want the regret. And the regret is usually much harder, because then you want to get the discipline. But when you're going through, let's say, imagine going through like a heart disease and fixing that. I'd rather fix that now that my heart is better than going through that in a time where like I'm possibly a second away from a heart attack.
So we talk about dedication, consistency, all that good stuff. But for you, and you talked about this, there's a reason why you're not able to be distracted from the shiny objects. Mike's got this great opportunity with crypto, and Matt's got this flip opportunity, but you're literally locked in, you're dialed in. That's great. But ultimately, what keeps you dialed in? Because ultimately, you must have, sat down, and I know you talked about the Tony Robbins thing. You had that transformation. You went through this metamorphosis and change in your life, and you probably were reevaluating your priorities. But you ultimately, I guess, really lasered in on what you wanted, what your priorities were. And then from there, that, I guess, allowed you to be able to do the things you're doing now. Because now, if it aligns with your mission, with your vision, with your purpose, then you're able to stay focused on that, and you can stay away from some of these distractions. And now, because you know that it's going to be a positive for you in your life, you now know, well, exercise, well, I can not exercise and sit and watch TV. I'm still taking time and energy to make that choice. Mm-hmm. The same time and energy that we make, like a lot of this stuff is all in our head.
Yeah.
And if you, like you said, if you make it an appointment, like why would you, we all shower every day. I hope so. Joe, Mike.
I shower.
So, because it's important. And we sell ourselves that that's important. We brush our teeth every day because we've sold ourselves that that's important. So why can't exercise be that? And I know
why.
What is, Coach John, why are people having so much trouble with it?
Because we were talking about dopamine. If you don't work out, you don't die, right? There's no instant gratification. Like, you can go to the gym a whole week. You're not going to see a difference from that. That takes time to build up.
You're saying like a negative reward?
Right.
Like if you don't go to the gym for a week straight, you're not getting a negative reward. You're not getting this negative feedback.
Right. Negative or positive feedback. So it's almost like, let's say if you don't work, there's a good likelihood that they're going to kick you out, right? The bank is going to foreclose on you. Your landlord is going to give you an eviction notice. There's a consequence with that. But something like health, right? There's no immediate consequence. You can ride things out for years and decades. I mean, it's going to catch up in your 30s or your 40s, right? That's why chronic disease like diabetes and heart disease and cancer, these things build up with time. But since, let's say I don't exercise today, I'm alive. Tomorrow I don't exercise, I'm alive. It's like you can put it off, but that stuff builds up with time. Like it's compounding, right? Like same way we heard of like successful investors compound interest and their wealth compounds. Those things compound in the negative aspect. Is just you're not seeing it.
It's the same thing with saving, like saving money. Most of our lives we're saving money, and it's not usually, these big returns. You're putting this, you have this commitment that you're going to put this money away, and you know over time that money is going to grow, but it takes a long time for that money to compound, but you're committed to it because you have a belief in the future. And I think that's where, like, going into what is keeping you disciplined and not allowing all these external things kind of pull away and distract you.
Yeah.
And you have to have that vision. You have to have that mission for why you're doing what you're doing.
And that's why personal development is so important. You can never say, like, even my mom, and my mom she can pass by, like, she sees herself, and I give it all to my mom. She came here from a third world country. Was the first one to get a college degree. You know, we were born as American kids. We had a really good upbringing. But my mom still sees, like, you know, her life is together because she has the career, she has the finances, but my mom doesn't have the best relationship. My mom is not the affectionate, doesn't give me the feminine energy, but she doesn't see that, right? And that's why personal development is so important. You get to see outside of, like, what you're doing and where there can be more improvement. And for me, that's why I see health the way I see it, is because, you know, I come from a gratitude living now, and our bodies, and I'm going deep, like, our bodies are doing so much right now. Like, are you thinking about your heart beating, or
no, it doesn't.
Your liver is throwing out insulin to your body and is giving your cells energy? Like, you're not thinking about that. So your body's doing a million things, right? And the one thing we got to do for our body is just move it and give it the right thing so it can function properly. Look how deep I went. So I treat health differently because of that belief. So for a lot of people, they're not where they're at. It's because of the belief that they have. And it starts with the belief. That's why personal development is good. And I love Tony Robbins. You shatter old beliefs, create new beliefs, and the new beliefs will create new thoughts, right? Look at that positive thought, right? What would that positive thought say? Well, shit, I'm going to eat healthy today. Now I just said something positive. And what is the action? I'm going to eat a healthy meal. Mm-hmm. So you see, the action first came with the belief, but you got to see that.
Yeah.
And most people are not seeing that.
So for you're working with real estate professionals. That was kind of like when we were first talking, you were telling me about your coaching. Why real estate professionals?
It's all professionals, but I'm going heavily on the real estate professional because I know that lifestyle. I am one. And that's why I want to continue being in the real estate space, because that gives me more credibility. And I don't want to let go of something that I already built for over a decade. But I know the real estate professional, what they're going through. The grind, the working late, the waking up early, not having the morning night routine, not exercising. A lot of these people are burnt out. A lot of people are overweight. You don't believe it? Let's go to a networking event. Let's see it for ourselves. You know, so it's right there in our face, right? So why is that? It's because in our culture, that's not what we see as successful, right? Success is the guy that's selling a lot of real estate, the guy that's buying the most houses. Is like, we keep seeing that. Okay, but let's go behind the scenes. Let's see all aspects of life. Show me your relationship. Show me your parenting. Show me your emotional life. Show me your spirituality. Show me your character as a human being. There's a lot of stuff there that people are not even looking at. What about those areas? We're fooled to believe all these things, and I was fooled, right? That's a myth bestowed to us as entrepreneurs, that the late grind and the hustle and forget sleep, that shit is all a lie, man. It's all a lie. That's a manufacturer abundance. I got to learn through personal development. There's also a surrender abundance. That money is energy. Abundance is energy. And how do you tap into that more and more and more? So and I've been living like that now these last couple of weeks. I've been doing less, honestly, man. And I feel super connected. I have more opportunities coming to me. It sounds crazy that I'm even talking about this. And coming from a guy that always felt he needed to make phone calls, go to an appointment, do more. Like, that's the thing. We got to do something. And that's why people don't plug. Right?
I believe what you're saying 100%. The surrender abundance, Mikey. That was definitely mind blown there, because
it's a new way of living.
Because the thing is, because most people think more is better.
Right.
But it's important that you're doing the right thing, the right dosage, right? Like, if you think of medication, you got to have the right dosage at the right time. And a lot of people think that if you do more, that it's better. It's not.
Right.
And so what you have been saying about talking about the real estate professionals in general, I always love this line: dominate the day or let the day dominate you. And I think that's everything that we've been saying. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that I see. It's so easy to wake up in the morning. I am guilty of it. I know all of us are probably guilty.
Right? Not even me. I'm not perfect, but I'm conscious enough to get back on track.
But you're a product of your habits.
Yeah.
So it's just important, I think, and then it goes down to awareness.
Right.
So if you have awareness of those habits, then you can make a change.
Right.
And then as long as it aligns with what you really want, because if you don't really want it, then it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. You're not going to do it. But dominating the day, and like I love where we just talked about before, the evening routine, I truly think dominating your day starts the night before.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
like that is so critical.
He's looking at me on purpose. He just laser focused on me.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm gonna
Why are
agree
you
with
looking
you.
at
The
me?
evening
You're looking at
routine
me.
is more important. Yeah,
He's-
I mean, I see it, hand in hand. But the evening, it's what starts the day before. I always tell people is like how you go to sleep, what you're doing before, the blue light, the sleeping, the alcohol. It's like you start getting that stuff down packed. Well, then you flow properly in the morning, and then your day goes better.
I was only looking at Mike because I'm waiting for him to kind of, make a joke,
You're
bust a
looking at
joke
me.
on me.
No, you're looking at me because I'm a painful workaholic. That's why you're looking at me.
No.
Yes, you
I
are.
was looking at
It's
you because
okay.
I'm like, Mike, I want to hear what you want to say. But for me, that has been a big priority for me. And I'm telling you, I've been talked about it on previous episodes, cutting back on the alcohol. At night, I'm going to bed earlier. I sleep better. I'm getting more quality hours of sleep. You had that whoop. My brother has that.
Yeah.
And I know my brother tells me on Sunday mornings after a long Saturday of college football and drinking a lot of beer and whiskey, he wakes up the next day and his whoop literally is like raging red. And
And to add to that,
and that's what you were talking about.
well, here's what the Whoop does, right? We all know that we have to sleep 7-8 hours, right? But what people don't know is it's not how many hours you sleep, it's the quality of the sleep. Yes. And you get to see your restorative sleep. You have deep sleep. This is when your body's regenerating cells and building muscle tissues, right? So you can go to the gym all you want. If you're not sleeping properly, your body's not properly recovering, you're not going to see the results of the gym. And then you have REM sleep. That is the golden sleep right there. REM is cognitive, is memories, is learning. I'm trying to be a public speaker now. I need to sleep better so I have more REM, more learning, more motor skills so I can speak better. So think about that. Like outside of just practicing my speech, what can I do to improve public speaking? Well, if I sleep better, I get more restorative sleep. My brain retains information better and I'm going to speak better. Look how important sleep is.
It's incredible. It's a third of your life. Mikey, I just bought brand new bed sheets. Amazing.
See?
Amazing.
Investment in self-care.
Yeah.
Well, you were asking me, what is Coach Lajara, and I can just summarize it. It's basically helping busy professionals master their health while they still thrive in their life and work. We have this thought to believe that we have to give something to get something else, right? Like if I'm going to have a great relationship, then my business is going to suffer. If I'm going to invest in my health, then my business is going to suffer. Who the fuck came up with that?
So you're telling me you don't have to sacrifice something for the betterment of your health?
No, I do believe
yourself.
that some things you're going to take time away, right? But like anything, once you start, let's say, perfecting the health, and now you're stable and you got the habits down packed, well, then now you can go back to your business and up it again, right? Increase productivity. But now you start thinking about, okay, what do I delegate? What do I do better? Like your consciousness expands there too. So I do believe the thing is, in business, we get to learn that in real estate or in lending, you got to go all in to make the business grow. But health is not that. Health can be as simple as, let me start doing 5,000 steps. Get then to 6,000 steps. That takes a couple of months. Let me just drink more water. But the thing is, we think that we have to do the same thing in health. We got to work out. We got to eat healthy. We got to sleep it. No, one day at a time. And if you do that, if you can see it from that point of view and see it like you're not going to die tomorrow. You're going to live to like 80, 90, 100. Where's this rush coming from? Like master your steps this year, master hydration next year.
And a lot of it comes from what I was talking about the way beginning, this attention economy, the social media, and how it has a hold on all of us. And just being aware of that. And I hope that you're seeing the reel of our show, and I hope you're watching and listening to the podcast, and I hope you see what we're doing at Alpha Funding on Instagram, but understanding that social media is a tool. Just like if you want to have a drink and you want to go have a nice glass of wine and you're eating a nice meal, having that glass of wine as a treat versus it becomes this consistent thing that you don't even have control over anymore.
Right.
And that's what these big tech companies, and Mike, you know all about this stuff. We talk about this all the time. These big tech companies all have it in for all of us. And we all think that they care about us. They don't. It's all about money. And they're doing what they need to do to generate more money for their businesses, and they're using social media. And it's crazy. Just think about the iPhone. Like, it literally tracks every single place that we go. Yeah. And you probably don't even know that it has every single data point of all these hundreds and thousands of data points that you would never even think of are sitting in your phone everywhere you go. And these big companies are benefiting for them.
And the food industry does the same thing with processing foods. They're adding all these additives and all this crap is to create that dopamine effect. So you want more of that food. So all these industries are doing it from any sort of way they can, whether it's technology or it's health. They know people want more. So they don't care if you get a chronic disease and you die, right? It's
and they
profit over people.
And they all know that we're generally just rats on a wheel.
Yeah.
We're just these mouses on a wheel. And it's important. Like, the world isn't super doom and gloom, but it's important to understand things and have an awareness to things so that you can make a good decision. And what you're saying is it doesn't take this massive heavy lift. It takes one good choice.
Yes.
And then another good choice and another good choice. And hopefully it becomes a consistent habit.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, you don't have to be special to be successful. Successful is being consistent, doing things the right way consistently over time. And the way that you do that is because you ultimately have a bigger picture vision of what your mission is. And if you have that, that's basically like you're shining your North Star. And that's what you talked about earlier in the episode, which I really resonated with, is it's really easy to get caught with that shiny object syndrome. And it happens to everybody. I mean, as soon as we get out of here, we're all going to probably look at our phones and we're going to sit there and we're just going to scroll.
Well, I don't know about scroll, but we're always going to check it. The notifications, I think, are the worst thing on phones.
Yeah.
The little bing just keeps popping up.
And to add to that, I did a podcast and I didn't give myself enough credit. I said the same thing. I said, I never saw myself special in real estate. I really didn't. I told you, I was a very insecure kid. There was nothing special about me. I just made a lot of phone calls. I talked to a lot of people. So the odds were in my favor. But then I thought about it. It's like, wait a minute. Over time, consistency is not something that everybody has. So why am I shooting myself short? Like, saying that consistency is a normal thing, like if everybody does it. So I now pat myself in the back that, bro, like, give it up to yourself, because consistency is what people lack. Discipline.
Doing the right things consistently.
Yes.
Because I will tell you, almost everyone in the world, they're
has
all
consistent bad habits.
They have consistent bad habits.
Right.
Yeah. So it's important to have the right habits and doing them consistently. And, you've had great success, which is awesome. And now that you're helping other real estate professionals, other professionals that are dealing with the same stuff that we all deal with every single day, I think that is amazing, because we need more of that in this world. That's something where, for me, like, you lit a fire inside of me, because I'm a personal trainer by trade.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I started off as a personal trainer. I was at Lifetime. I then met Mike and Mark, and my story, I've told it multiple times, but I want to get back into doing more on the health and fitness and personal training, coaching, and taking that and folding and layering that in with the amazing world that I've been exposed to through real estate. Because I mean, real estate, I feel like, is like that epicenter where, like, everything, like, revolves around. Like, it's not like if you're an attorney, right? The attorney, unless you're a egotistical attorney, I'm sorry, attorneys. The world doesn't revolve around you, but like real estate is like this, like, it's this unbelievable world, and there's so many things that revolve around real estate, and it's amazing when you see all these moving parts and all these different industries that work in and out of real estate and the people that you meet. And like when I was a personal trainer, there'd be people that I'd meet and they'd be like, yeah, I'm in real estate. I didn't even realize what they meant by that until now, where I am in real estate. I can see how there's just so much overlap into all industries, and it's incredible. So if I can take my coaching and my love of helping others and put that in with real estate and professionals that are just burnt out, they're dealing with all the same stuff that we all deal with. I mean, that is literally my life's mission if I can do that. So, seeing you doing that, it's very inspiring.
Yeah, we need more people like us, and we create our own, what do they call it? The Avengers? We create an Avenger League, and now we have guys like us like, hey, wealth is health and health is wealth. There's no way around it. They work both simultaneously. If you can see that your health is going to help you live a better life and make more money, that's where we got to get people that mind shift there. Because if they can see they can perform better and make more money investing in health, then we won. So that's our mission right there.
Yeah. When do most people care about their health the most?
When they're in the hospital bed.
When it deteriorates and gets to a point of no return. And one of their biggest regrets, and I've heard about this, there's like a woman, she was a nurse, she's a hospice nurse, and she was sharing like what people would talk to her about. And she goes through and meets a ton of people at the end of their life. And some of the things that she shared was they regretted not taking care of their health more. What do you think the other one was? Mike?
Relationships.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it was relationships, like spending, and like, so we always are focused on the money. Like, I think, and that's social media. We're all obsessed, and we're programmed, and society tells us like, make more money. And I think what you were saying earlier in the episode, we'll start to wrap up, is that less can be more if we are doing it the right way. Like unplugging more in our lives can have immense benefit. I've been trying to do it more at night when I go to bed. I try not to look at my phone after a certain point, like usually like 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Having quiet time at night without the TV. Although I've been watching a lot of Sopranos, I've been rewatching with my girlfriend, and it's important to just like sometimes, like you said, taking what did you call that in the middle of the day? A health reset.
Reset.
Like just taking 15 minutes. Like it can be really tough in our business, me and Mike.
But if you do it, it has so much benefits. Like
it's hard when you're in it. It's hard.
But it's hard. But when you see how it helps you,
yes, and
you handle the day better, you handle negotiation better, you're going to be like, why haven't I done this sooner? When you do a meditation, I do a meditation now, my heart rate is 75 beats per minute. When I do a meditation, my heart rate drops to low 60s. My resting heart rate is almost in the mid 50s. So when I meditate, it's almost as if I was sleeping. So my brain is calmer. So if I make a phone call versus going straight into the call after an appointment, it's not the same thing. It's not. How you going to handle the same situation like burnt out versus a calm state?
And it's definitely easier said than done.
Easier said than done.
But what you said, though, is the positive reinforcement of like you do it once, you feel better.
Right.
You do it again. And that's the how you get to a habit is you do it. And the reinforcement definitely helps is when you have a great experience afterwards, then you're like, you do it again, you have a good experience afterwards. And then that's where you start getting that positive feedback loop. And unfortunately, there's a lot of negative feedback loops that we have in our life. And, they all have a hold of us.
You gotta try your best. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, you gotta, like you were saying, and we've had other guests on this, that you just gotta pick one thing
at a time, and then figure it out. And I've become like, and we could go off on a whole nother episode. Like Mike was saying, we could do episode number 2.
I still have a lot here.
I was going to talk about we veered off of real estate. I want to hear more about real estate.
This is the foundation of real estate. Like
it's all in your head.
Think about
why do people not invest in real estate? Because they're in their head.
Right. And it's like, that's why I keep going back, invest a little bit of time of personal development, because you're going to sooner or later discover that it's not what you think. It's not going to give you fulfillment. It's not. There's only so much that can give you. And at the end of the day, like we all have to be a contributor to the world at some sort. And that becomes becoming a better human being. And when you take yourself from a selfish state of mind to a giver, yeah, I mean, life is so much better and so much more comes to you because that's how the universe works. So like when you give, you can easily receive at the same exact time.
100%. Mike, anything you want to share before we wrap up?
No, I just want to say, John, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you and talk to you, find your coaching?
Yeah, Coach Lajara, and you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm going to be starting a community as well, which allows people to be in the setting. And we're going to have like bi-monthly challenges. That's where I can help people like in the group setting and having accountability with like, okay, let's get the sleep down pack and see where people are struggling in a group setting that helps them. Having bi-weekly check-ins. I'm going to bring in guest speakers as well that I've met through like Tony Robbins, Mind Valley, Joe Dispenza. Like the beautiful part is all that work that I've done that people won't even have access to. I'm going to bring that into the community so people can have access to that. Because I want their health to be very holistic. It's not just the eating and the working out, but it's your mindset, it's your emotional life, it's your
habits,
everything,
your routine.
Man. Like health is just, people have it just like it's eating and moving. It's much more than that, you know? So opening people horizon on what health really is. And yeah, and I'm doing one-on-one coaching for certain people that need a little bit of hand-holding, that it's in place as well. And I'm going to be starting the challenge as well coming up in April for the real estate community. So I'm looking forward to just giving massive value. And whenever you guys need me back for the second episode,
we're gonna have you back.
So that's at Coach Lajara on all the things.
Yes.
And then also, your personal. Am I able to give out your personal Instagram?
Yeah. No, that's it.
Yeah, at John C. Lajara.
Oh, well, what happened was John C. Lajara, I'm transferring that to Coach Lajara.
Oh,
and I already did that in TikTok and other platforms. Just I have a legacy verification, so it's not as easy to change the username, but I'll have it changed by the end of the month. So Coach Lajara in all platforms.
All right, we'll have all that in the show notes so you can check him out as soon as this goes live.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank
you for listening to another episode of the Mike and Matt Show. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Please subscribe, follow, like, and comment on whatever podcast platform you listen to all of your favorite podcasts. If you have a guest that you would like to see on the show or have a topic that you would like to hear covered, please email us at podcast@alphafunding.com. Again, I'm your host, Matt Weber, and my partner, Michael Strasser. Be the best version of yourself and take action. Life is meant to be explored. Be great, friends.
Try walk dust in our faces.